In the last 2 years, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram stock has fallen by about 75%.
It is clear that 2025 was a very challenging year for Stellantis.
Well, Stellantis says its UAW workers won't get profit-sharing checks this year, the first time that's happened in more than a decade.
Going forward, it's going to be the end of Jeep, Dodge, and Ram as we know it today. So over the last 2 years, it's been an absolute disaster for Jeep, Dodge, and Ram.
Posted a net loss of $22 billion. Even worse, it had negative free cash flow of $4.5 billion.
You can pull back Stellantis' stock price. Back in March of 2024, they were hovering right around $30, and we've dropped today all the way down to under $8. That's a drop in just 2 years of about 75%. Now, how does a company mismanage themselves so poorly that you have all of this drop in just a 2-year period? And you have to think what's been going on in the market while this has all been happening. We're seeing all-time highs after all-time highs, markets going to the moon, stock prices, all these chip companies, tech companies, so much froth that's in the market. And all along this, you have a company that's been mismanaged so much that they lose 75% of their values when other companies are 2x, 3x, 4xing their market cap. This is a bad situation for this manufacturer. And you have to think, okay, well, if it looks like that over this last 2 years, well, we have to change what the company looks like completely.
Stellantis says it's making a major shift in its business strategy.
Because what's going on right now is absolutely not working. And luckily, we have new management that's come in. We had a new CEO that's come in over the last year, and things are starting to look a little bit better. But here's the thing that I want to say. Yeah, okay, things were so bad. You can make any change through Jeep, Dodge, and Ram right now, and things are going to get better because of how bad it has been. But we're still bad, but things have gone from terribly bad to just really bad right now. And as we go forward, we have to continue to make changes throughout this company to actually turn things around. And I'm not very hopeful in this market right now. So one thing that I would expect to happen throughout the course of this year is that we have more incentives. We have more money that's coming from the manufacturers to actually promote sales. We're getting back into the volume game here in the car market, and from a brand like Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, it's even more so that they need to move more volume. So remember, at the end of the day, the only way that they make money is if dealers take more of their vehicles. They don't make money from me and you. They don't care about the retail side of things. They are a wholesaler. They need dealers to take cars. But at the end of the day, obviously, if customers aren't buying their vehicles, then dealers aren't going to take more allocations. So what they have to do is they have to put what we call in the car market is money on the hood. This is money that dealers can directly take off for their customers that comes from the manufacturer in form of rebates or incentive packages. They can do special interest rates. All of this is just money that comes from manufacturer to dealers, so dealers can make the price more incentivizing for customers to actually buy, get more butts in seats, right? And really, I feel bad for the new regime that's come in and taken on this just wrecked ship. I mean, they have to take a ship that's already at the bottom of the ocean, they have to resurrect it, and they have to make it float and make it work again. This is the level of difficulty that we're dealing with right now, where Jeep, Dodge, and Ram has really found themselves in the marketplace. Because what did we see happen? Well, we had a shift of who they wanted their customers to actually be. They wanted to decide who they want to sell their products to. What has Jeep always been? Well, rugged, simple, reliable. You've seen these tough vehicles that were in World War I, World War II. That's what they're known for, right? You take these things off-road. You can run it into a tree, pull it back out of the tree, you spray it off with water, and then it's just ready to go again. That's what we know Jeep to be. But what did this big change during the pandemic, what did they want to do? They wanted to be a luxury brand. That was these big SUVs that cost $120,000. That's what they wanted to change their customer base to, and they wanted to do it just about overnight. This is not how you're able to make money in a marketplace. You can't just change your whole customer base just like that, and that's what Jeep tried to do, and this is the failure that we've seen, and this is what can potentially put companies like this, manufacturers like this out of business, and that's the direction that they were going in.
A lot of people don't have a money problem, they have a visibility problem. Accounts are spread across banks, credit cards, and apps, and it's hard to see the full picture in one place. That's where Monarch comes in. Monarch is a private, ad-free personal finance platform designed to give you a clear, centralized view of your money without turning budgeting into a full-time job. Monarch brings all your accounts together into one clean dashboard. So instead of jumping in between different apps or spreadsheets, everything syncs in one place. In a single view, you can see spending, net worth, debt payoff progress, and reoccurring bills. You can separate fixed expenses from flexible spending and customize categories so things stay organized without being overly rigid. It also includes AI-powered insights that help explain changes in spending or net worth in plain English. So numbers have context instead of just sitting there. It's read-only with bank-level encryption, syncs with over 13,000 institutions, and because it's private and ad-free, you're the customer, not the product. Click the link down in the description below or scan the QR code on screen to start your free trial and get 50% off your first year with code CAR50. And I want to thank Monarch for sponsoring this video.
All right, we made some mistakes about products. We've made some mistakes around affordability with our vehicles that we're offering to. Yeah, we understand that. But now we have to see actual action be put into place. But the problem is with a company like Jeep, a massive manufacturer, is you can't just turn this thing around in 1 year. And we've seen that their stock price dropping down 75% in the last 2 years. Yeah, it's not going to be fixed anytime soon, because you have to, if you're going to make new products, if you're going to have things that come out where your average selling price jumped up by 43%, you have all these luxury vehicles still sitting around, you still have them in the process of being produced and priced to a marketplace that is not your market, to be frank.
This Wagoneer right here is $123,000.
Then they're going to have to come out with R&D and make new products that are going to be able to sell for $30,000, $40,000. And that's not something that they can just turn around overnight. So this is going to be a long, painful process, and this is just something that they're going to have to live with, and shareholders are right now along for the ride at this point. So here's another thing that I'm concerned with Jeep. So I've got a Jeep Compass up there that we have for sale. I've got another Jeep that's right over there. I've got one over there on the hill. We've got one here that we're working on that we're about to sell. And we've got a couple more over here that we're getting ready right now. I buy and sell a lot of these used Jeeps. And these used Jeeps that I'm buying, they're 10, they're 15 years old. Keep in mind, I have to buy and sell cars that are $5,000 and under. So in that price range, I'm going to have 10 and 15-year-old cars. But here's the thing, over the last couple years, when you have a Jeep product that's tiered more to a luxury consumer, when those cars are 10 years old, they're not going to be in my price range to be able to sell to my kind of customer. So that's another manufacturer, Jeep as a brand, that I'm going to lose from the available vehicles that I'm actually able to sell. The other problem is quality. Quality is always an issue with these American brands. We're seeing recalls after recalls after recalls. Ford is the worst offender right now, and that's probably going to be a brand that falls off of my radar too, even though at that point we're probably still going to have like these small Broncos and things 10 years, 15 years from now that I could buy to sell as a very affordable product to my customer. But the problem is they might not last. We see all these recalls, all these motors that are imploding on themselves. That's one big thing that I worry about for the future of my business. And we're going to have a section of time that's probably a 5 or 6 year window of Jeeps that are just out of my price range because they were made to be more luxury vehicles. They put more parts, more high-end things in them, and they're just going to carry a premium on the market. Maybe not. Maybe everything just implodes on itself and Jeep's value is not worth anywhere close to even like a 10% of what it was initially sold for. You got to keep in mind these vehicles, they lose about 90% of their value whenever they reach me here at my car dealership. And if that's the case, then we're talking about a quality problem and probably not a pricing problem, because those Jeeps that are being made now, that have been made over the last 5 years or so, if they're getting to the point where they're probably in my price range, then it means that they're absolute garbage. And I just fear for my brand, I say my brand, but my car dealership and what I'm known for. I'm known for the car, as the car dealer that sells cars that are cheap. They're $5,000 and under. If I continue to have brands that just fall off that I can't buy and sell because they're absolute garbage whenever they get to me, well, then my way of life is not going to exist anymore. And it's directly affected by these manufacturers who have chose over the last few years, the last 5-6 years, to cut corners. Ford, I know is going to be one of them. Already see it. Recalls, problems. And Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, probably the same thing. And one thing that we've already seen from Ford, and by the time you're actually seeing this video, there's a chance that Jeep, Dodge, and Ram will be offering the same kind of initiative, is that Ford is offering employee pricing. I know at the end of the day, if you can go in and before employee pricing even came into effect, you can negotiate for that or even lower. But for the masses that are out there, it sounds like a good thing. And last year for Ford, it actually increased sales and did very well. And right after Ford announced this last year, we had Jeep, Dodge, and Ram that actually announced the exact same thing. So by the time you're watching this video, they might have already announced that they're going to do employee pricing also to match Ford's. But I would not be surprised if we have Jeep, Dodge, and Ram very soon come out and say they're doing some kind of initiative just like Ford's doing right now to match them, and adding extra money on the hood for a lot of these consumers to come in, and then they can raise the volumes, and then they can push more allocations to these dealerships, and they can make more money. Obviously, it's going to cost them more money up front, but right now we're back to the volume game, and the way for these manufacturers to make a lot of money, the way for these dealers to make a lot of money is not from trying to make the highest margin possible on each individual vehicle. Now it's going to go back to volume. That's what we're getting to in the market. And here's the thing. I know I give Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, I give Ford, I give GM, I give them a hard time when I'm making these videos. And the thing about it is I don't want them to go under. And in all reality, I actually need them to do well. I want them to do better. I want them to do more volume. I want them to lower the price, succeed, sell lots and lots of vehicles, because my business, I'm a small used car dealer here. Look at this. I need cars to be able to make money out here too. And the way that I get cars is from these franchise dealers actually selling high volume, getting in trade-ins from consumers just like you. And then those cars get sent to auction, and I get to pick and choose the cars that I want to bring out here, get ready for me to sell. And I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. And I need to have lots and lots and lots of quantity of vehicles at these auctions so I can pick and choose which ones I actually want to buy. And I can pick and choose which ones are actually a good deal for me to buy and to make money and to sell to my consumer. And at the end of the day, if these companies fail, if Jeep, Dodge, and Ram fails, if Ford fails, if GM fails, and they start going the way where they can't sell any vehicles, their dealers can't move product, then that means trade-ins are going to dry up. If we go through a very soft time in our economy when people just say no to these brand new manufacturers and don't buy any more vehicles, and they shift down to just buying used vehicles, well, yeah, in a very short amount of time, I'll sell out all my inventory, but then I can't replace it, because if trade-ins don't come in and people are trading down to buy 2- and 3-year-old used vehicles instead of buying new vehicles, or even buying stuff like what I sell, this $5,000 and under stuff, that's all they can afford. Well, what's going to happen? Well, no new trade-ins come into the market, and then the price of my vehicles that I sell, because there's a higher demand for it, well, they go to the moon, and no longer can I buy and sell cars for under $5,000. Then it's $7,000, then it's $10,000. So I don't want that to happen. I want these new car manufacturers to do the right thing. I want them to sell cars at prices that people can actually afford, and I want them to sell a lot of them. Because if that happens, my prices can go down, the quality of my cars can go up, and the amount of cars that just hit these auctions from these trade-ins goes up and up and up. It only makes things good for everyone involved in the car market. not only the people who are participating in the market as far as making money in it, like myself, it's good for used car dealers because we have more inventory, prices can go down, we can sell a higher volume of vehicle because there's just more vehicles out there. What businesses like myself need to make the marketplace better is velocity of money that's actually moving through the market. We need transactions to happen. So it's good for us if the volumes increase for the manufacturers. Good for the manufacturers, obviously they make more money because the dealerships are taking more allocations. It's good for the big franchise dealerships. Yeah, they made a ton of money over the last 5 years playing this margin game, but if they go back to a volume game, they can make more money on the back end of stuff. You think F&I products, you think a lot of the warranties and stuff. I don't like that stuff, but they make a lot of money doing that. There's more service and repair that they can do on more customers that are coming in the door. And then you have the consumer. If you have more vehicles available in the system, consumers get better prices. Higher volumes is just better for everyone involved in the marketplace, and that's what I want us to get back to, and that's what we're seeing right now.